And we are live.
Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah, you know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on.
Now it's on.
How it sound.
Now it's on. Now it's on.
Now let's listen.
Now let's listen because now it's on. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 39th episode of Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense,
Plus more.
plus a lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more. Let me just make sure this is.
We got this like this. We have this like that. That's over here.
Push this button, click
Click
that button.
Click that. Put that there.
Welcome to the show. We got off to a hot start this morning. Before we went live, I was telling my son Nathan, whatever you want to call him. I just call him kiddo. Speaking of kiddo, I spoke to your dad a couple of days ago. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, he's the one that really calls me kiddo.
I know.
Not often, but I think it's one nostalgic kind of name.
I never did like his nicknames that he came up with. They weren't original.
Well, no, kiddo's not original. That's more of a generic one. Yours are pretty. I don't think I've ever heard those before.
Yeah, my nicknames are Schnudkit, In the Pud Kit.
That's all the way original.
Mikey, even though his name is Nathan.
I was thinking Mikey too. I mean, see, you've really been doing nonsense for a really long time.
I was born into nonsense. My middle name is Nonsense. In fact, it's Rebecca Lynn Nonsense Norrington.
Get it? Nice.
I do get it. I was just, Nathan, this life, I just wanted to share a really quick story. Oh, I got to get my word of the day. Oh, crap. I do have a word of the day. But this morning when I was teaching my foam roller class, your mother is all about jokes and making people laugh. And so it was a time in the class where we were all going to get water. And we're on the floor and I left my water on this bench. And so now I'm doing this whole drama scene. I get on my hands and knees and I'm crawling and I'm doing this like I'm dying for this last sip of water. And I reach to get my water bottle and I get it a gulp, gulp, gulp. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is laughing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really laughing either, even though I think it's entertaining. And what were they doing? Were they foam rolling or were they just subjected to watching you?
They were my prisoners. Anytime that comes to my class, they're a prisoner of mine for however long the class lasts, unless they get up and walk out. And I've had that plenty of times.
Well, listen, I think, my humble opinion, which you didn't ask for, but I do think it's time for a career switch. Just be a clown.
It's too late.
It's never too late.
Oh, by the way, so I did want to talk about that topic about being embarrassed and what does it mean to be embarrassed and where does embarrassment come from? And are the jokes for other people or is the entertainment for yourself?
That's a good one. That's really good because we talked about that many times in many different situations. And I've asked you about making jokes and in class for me when I teach and people laugh, people don't laugh. And you've told me for a long time the jokes are for self. And if I think it's funny, then that's That's
That's
more than enough.
that's all that matters. And so you teach yoga, you teach a few different types of classes, yoga, dance class, tai chi, tai bo, tie up the
It's a
tie,
Thai pad Thai, pad see
pad
you.
tie,
Mhm.
tie it up.
Thai noodles, tie it up, tie it down, tie your shoes.
And I think we're going to tie up this topic. And that's part of the show that is nonsense. Tie it up.
That's right. Well, that's a good segue to my word of the day, and I'll give you a few seconds to stall. You can copy my homework if you need. But my word is a word I do know, but I don't use. Often I know I'm giving explanation. The word is frivolous. Frivolous. And do you want to guess the definition? Do you know?
How many times have I told you that your mother, me, knows everything?
Well, all right. Well, how does your definition compare to? Well, how would you use frivolous in a sentence?
Well, first let's ask what's my definition of frivolous?
Oh, okay.
Frivolous is just meaningless nonsense. Frivolous, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, oh, it's like a gnat on my ass.
Just nothing, just meaningless. Can be any smaller. Well, that is correct. And it's also not serious, not having any serious purpose or value. It's an adjective. Rules to stop having frivolous lawsuits. The frivolous, fun-loving flappers of the 20s.
Oh, that's a lot of F's.
Yeah,
Frivolous, the frivolous, fun-loving flappers from the
from the
what?
20s. That's really funny. That should be kind of an ongoing tongue twister.
Let's do it. The frivolous
Frivolous,
flappers.
fun-loving flappers of the 20s. Make sure you say it right, or we could be having a different show.
If I could hear the correct way, then I would be able to say, can you just please, just without explanation, just say what the sentence is?
I'm just trying to make up for
Oh,
lost.
explanation.
Trying to make up for lost time from last week when you talked for 80% of the show.
That was 2 weeks ago, but keep going.
The frivolous, fun-loving flappers of the 20s.
The frivolous, fun-loving flappers of the 20s.
Do you have to do the frivolous, fun-loving?
With my face. Oh, by the way, if you're listening on Noom Vibe, we are live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We're live on YouTube and on StreamYard, live on Noom Vibe. And if you want to have a question or comment, join the show, you know what to do. Just ask to join the stage. We have a few viewers. Hello, viewers. Let me say hello before they leave us, because usually
That's
people
right.
come in and out quickly.
Yeah, we've got two fans that really love the first 90 seconds of the show.
That sounds like me.
So wait, they can call in or they can ask a question on which platform?
It's called Noom Vibe,
Oh, Noom
Noom Vibe, Noom Vibe. It used to
Vibe.
be called Wisdom, but now they changed it, and I have to remember to say Noom Vibe. But that's a
Okay.
platform people can call in, not call in, but they just ask to join the stage. And we have a chat on YouTube, so if you have questions, the chat is open, the chat is live. You are all welcome.
Got
So
it.
your word of the day is for frivolous. Now I'm wondering if I get out of this Noom Vibe, is it gonna? Because I'm live, so I'm thinking if I get out of the Noom Vibe, I won't be able to go to my word.
I see. Well then,
And I have a really good word
well,
too.
do you need the definition? I
Yes,
can look it up.
please. I don't even remember the word.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
It's a big problem.
Well, maybe
But
we can save it for the end as a cliffhanger.
okay, good idea.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of it.
Your word's probably frivolous anyway.
It was frivolous. So back to the getting, this is the question. Getting embarrassed. Do you get embarrassed, Nathan?
Well, you've asked me this many times, and my answer never changes. Sometimes I do get embarrassed, but
So the
less than I used to. Sorry for the long explanation, but yeah, that's it.
let me try this again in all Judge Judy form. Just a yes or a no, please. Do you get embarrassed?
Yes, just
Was
like
that
you do.
was that no, not anymore. Was that so
But that's
hard?
so hard. No, well, it is hard. It is actually. It's hard to not explain.
It's hard to be succinct.
Now that's a good word.
Thank you. I learned that from the show. Back to there's only one reason, well, two reasons why people get embarrassed. Number one, it's a program. You did, when you popped out 6 months, 2 months, you could have been digging anywhere on your body, in your nose, in your ear, or anywhere else you got a place to dig, and you would have been out in the middle of a parade digging in wherever you're digging, and nobody, and you wouldn't care. So the being embarrassed is a program, is my point. And the only reason why people get embarrassed is because they care what other people think. Now, I heard you say that you don't get embarrassed. There was this week. Okay, here we go. Full disclosure. So I go into UPS, and there's my favorite guys there, and I'm shipping a package, and there's a few youngsters that are in the lobby, and so he says to me, "You smell that weed?" He says, "They're smoking weed." And I look to my right, and I look to my left. I said, "Oh, that's me."
You're the youngster.
And I put my head all the way down on the desk. I'm at UPS in the middle of, put my head all the way down onto the table, and I just left it there. Just left it there. He
That's
said,
so funny. That sounds like it could be a story of a tick of embarrassment.
I was going to say a tick tick. It was
Because there's some humor. You have some humor. You're not up here trying to hide it or deny it. It's not lasting that long. But it's a, yeah, tick.
yeah, it was. I mean, I have a lot of stories behind it. Oh, he did say, "I would have never thought it was you. Never, never."
Lay it on so thick. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Anywho, back to the embarrassment. It's just very, very rare. And I used to get embarrassed a lot, of course. But these days at 68, did she say 68? I'm done with being embarrassed.
Well, I definitely don't want to be bogged down by what people think all the time. And I said sometimes, and I do get embarrassed, but I think,
Can you give an example of one time that you were embarrassed? I mean, not to embarrass you or put you on the spot.
get it? Yeah, yeah. What I mean, look, what happened the last couple days? It's been so embarrassed. I'm constantly embarrassed now that I think about it.
And
Let's
you're my son. You got to come back to your mother. You have to come back home. You have
well, you're the one. You're the one of the most embarrassing parts of my life. No offense.
now, now that's a good one.
No, that's a good one.
I'm one of the most
One of them.
embarrassing parts of your life. Well, the other part must be your father.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, he's more embarrassing than me, isn't he?
It's really a toss-up. It just depends.
This is really
Different
funny.
types of embarrassment. Well, yeah. When was I last embarrassed? Okay. Well, this is a mini one,
We're
but
almost to another topic, but keep going.
so I was eating a overly ripe banana in the car, and it was mushy, and it was kind of it. I mean, not super mushy, but just this
That
was
sounds nasty.
it was almost nasty, but it was doable. It still took the color of the banana, and anyway. So eating the banana
What
on the
color
way,
was banana?
the color was it was banana colored as opposed to brown. Sorry, I didn't want to say it.
Well, what it was brown, a four-letter word now? What we can't say brown now? Brown.
Anyways, so yeah, eating this overly ripe banana, and it's slipping and sliding in the car, and it is nasty, and it slips and slides out of my hands and then onto the seat and onto my crotch, to be quite honest. So now I have this. It's not a lot, but I have this stain on my crotch going into teach class. And it looks like I peed myself or something.
4 words. That's what you get.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's been like for 39 years and 39 shows. So I wasn't, and I thought, well, it was a little pre-embarrassment because I think it dried by the time I got in, and it was hardly noticeable. But I thought, I'm so embarrassed, and how do I explain this? And I don't want to talk about it, but I don't want to not talk about it. And I did feel that embarrassment. And I also
Ah,
felt angry because, listen, if I wet myself, that's one thing, but it just looks like I did and I didn't. I don't want to be accused for something I didn't even do.
you don't wanna be accused of being incontinent. In fact, that could be a word, incontinent, and you're not.
I'm not. Well, not. No, I'm not incontinent. Is that? Did you just make that up?
No, that's a real word, and I am incontinent. Sometimes I don't make it to the bathroom.
That's
That's
what I'm saying.
that's something to look forward to, Nathan.
Having no or insufficient voluntary control over urination or defecation.
Oops.
Whoops.
I'm not 100% incontinent, but there is a percentage there.
Just steadily growing.
Yeah, I remember when I was working, my supervisor, Mary.
Hey,
If anybody gets
Mary.
if anybody gets that reference, Mary, you get a prize. I don't care who
We're
you
we're
are.
old. We're old school. If you know that, you're old school.
Yeah, find me, DM me, and I'll send you a copy of my latest book, Program for Unhappiness.
Nice.
You can find it on Amazon and then also Barnes and Nobles and Lulu. But what was my point?
Well, I'll
Oh,
do my plug too, even though I don't have anything yet. But up and coming, please wait for the website is coming, and it's going to have all the
am I going
things.
to be on your website?
You'll be at the very bottom.
Oh, thank you. At least
Actually,
I
you will be on the website. You won't be at the bottom. But yes, things like this that I do, the podcast with you, all the projects I do, the last music video I was in, any teachings that I'm offering in person in groups or ways to contact me privately, all that's coming in my new website that I'm designing myself.
Ooh, I'm excited for your new website that you're designing yourself that you've never designed for me, but that's okay. I digress.
Well, listen, I would love to do it for you after I do it for me.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to share with you because we were talking about having something to present, sell, whatever you monetize, whatever you, but to share what your gifts. And you're an artist, a graphic artist, plenty of you just very talented, taking after your mother, very talented. Yeah. And in fact, you could pull one of those pictures off the wall if you want to show them one of your paintings
Yeah, I
if you want to.
will. This
If
is
it's easy, if it's
it
an
is
easy
easy.
grab.
It's quick. It's quick.
Now that he's gone, let's talk about him.
I
Oh,
can
did he?
still hear you.
Oh, oops.
Now this is an old painting. It's realism. So this is from a few.
You
I don't.
painted that?
Yeah, I did. It looks really good, huh?
You know what? You do things and you don't even tell your mother, and I appreciate that because I just love the way you
Well,
are.
you've seen it. This is from high school, or that's
No, I have
long.
never seen that.
That's a
Where
long time ago.
who's had it? It
Dad's
wasn't
had
ever
it.
on.
Dad
No
had it.
wonder.
Yeah, and I forgot I even did it. I don't know when, but I know it was either high school or even junior high. And this isn't the stuff I even do these days. I do more cartoons and kind of, yeah, imaginative characters. But yes, and you encouraged me to draw and or to keep drawing and getting into the storybook, which I do like to do. And so that's what's going on. Thank you for giving me the impetus to share that.
You're welcome. And that was not a frivolous showing.
No, it wasn't frivolous, and I don't feel incontinent at the moment.
I
I,
have never seen that painting, and now I know why because I've been to all of your places where you live, but I haven't been to your
Well,
dad's place.
well, and I just put this up. I mean, this is in the last month or two,
Mm,
and I haven't seen this in decades, decades.
wow. And
But
I've
it
never.
looks really, it's very good. It actually looks better on screen than it does in person.
Okay, next topic.
Next,
Next.
well, yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm going back to a voice memo you left me at the beginning of the week about just making things serious, and then one of the things I also heard, which I was thinking about for me, was not only making things serious, but just having this really almost complicated plan in my head of, if they say this, then I'll do this. And when I text them, they'll text me back. If they don't say this, I'll say this. I mean, really elaborate plan in my head of what I'm going to do. And it feels serious and it feels heavy. And I just really don't, if I catch myself spending time on that, I would just like to shift into a different moment and spend time focusing on something else. And it does feel serious. Even if there is something going on, why not just deal with it, work through it in the moment?
Let me just piggyback on that. That's when I say program for unhappiness, there are 55, really 56 program behaviors that I wrote down, that I what's the word, memorialized, that subtract from happiness. And one of them, two of them are thinking anything is important and thinking anything is serious. And so someone asked me, how do you explain that? What is that? What do you mean it's not serious? It's that there's an energy of, or there's a thought of, or a story in my head that this is serious. Something needs to change. And whenever I have that, I already know that the ego is taken over, and now I'm identifying with my ego as opposed to identifying with my higher self. And again, just to recap and regroup, if you're listening on Noom Vibe, you can ask to join the stage with your question. And we are also live on YouTube on Rebecca Norrington channel. Uh, and and you can the chat is open, so feel free to join in. We welcome all guests. We welcome all controversy. We welcome all drama. We welcome all questions.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. And between you and me, we can handle that. We can handle anything.
We can take a baseball bat to your head. I mean, a baseball bat, and just knock it out of the park.
That's right. Well, if you have a baseball bat to our head, we can duck, and the other one's going to catch it, and we'll swing it from the other side and bop you right back.
That's right. Because what are we trying to say? Just because we don't look like we can fight, we can.
We can. Well, we do fight in a new way now.
Consciously fighting.
Yes.
What a great segue. Consciously fighting. What does that even mean? And a fight. What fight? So disagreement, you agree, you think something is right, you think something needs to happen, and I disagree. So what is consciously fighting, consciously disagreeing? What is that? Is that compromise? And I know that it's different in every moment. What do you see that?
I love some of the things you already said. I think you have one person has a perspective. I have a different perspective, and we are sharing about it. I think that's it. They're just different perspectives. And consciously fighting for me is knowing that it's not serious. Whatever we're talking about or fighting about, like it's not serious, and no, it's not an attack on me. It's not personal. It is different than me, and I also don't need to change what I'm feeling or what I'm going through or my perspective just because yours is different than mine. So I think some fighting that I would say is unconscious fighting is, I've got to change somebody else, and don't try to change me, and I'm right and you're wrong. Well, there's really no right. How do you fight if there's no right?
Well, now you're coming up to a totally different. Now what you're saying is the whole fighting, and one of my personal achievements is not to be so interested, scratch that, not to care about being right anymore. I don't care if I'm right. You can be right all day, every day. You can be right all day, every day. I don't, it doesn't matter. And then you said taking it personally. If I'm taking anything you do, you say personal, it's my issue, it's my problem, it's my challenge, not yours. And just this week, we talk from time to time. I mean, if I call you, of course, you're going to answer or not answer. But this week we talked less than usual. Can I say that?
I think we did
A little less
in
than
one
usual. And so, but
conversation.
in this gentleman, my son, Nate, aka Nathan, Neo, whatever he's calling himself these days, it is unique in the way that he knows himself, what he needs, what he likes, what he wants. And this kid needs space, sometimes needs space, wants space, does, just because it's him, not, it has nothing to do with me. So needing the space and me understanding that, and you, Nathan, helping me all through all the years, it's not personal. It's not an attack to my motherhood that he doesn't call me every day. I'm really being honest here, but I had to work through, let this kid be himself, and it's not personal, and just keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, that's so good. That's such good mother son stuff, and it's I really appreciate that. I mean, it's a relief to hear that from you, your acceptance and keeping it moving, going with the flow, and then me going with the flow too. And it's really not personal. And sometimes I don't understand my actions. I don't really have a reason. I'm trying to go with the flow too. And yesterday, I definitely had a day yesterday where I actively chose to just be with myself. And I had two invitations to the beach, and it was hot, probably one of our hottest days, the perfect beach day. And I know I could have gone, and I did have the story I should go, but I just thought, well, I don't. I just tried to keep feeling it out as I went along, and it's a struggle for me. I mean, I wouldn't say a struggle, but it's just finding my way through. I'm sure, just like how you did, is he taking it? Is he doing this to me? Is I taking it personally? Should I call him more? Should he call me more? I'm going really through the same thoughts, and yeah, and I just keep coming back to balance. I mean, it's so easy for me to slip into stories of judgment of other people and judgment of myself. And I do sometimes it's very involved and active, and I'm talking a lot with people or social, and I'm out, and other times it's not. And to be honest, I like that it's both. I think it fits me. I mean, I think it fits everybody, but I really can't speak on everybody, but for me personally, it does fit to have both of those available.
Options.
Yeah.
Now, you said a few things that I just want to go back to. Uh, Going back to this week, for whatever reason, I'm not going to attach a story, but it was a week of just staying in. It was a week of not a lot of communication with people. Even I didn't even go to my cryotherapy, and it was because I just wasn't into talking or even having a conversation with anyone else. I just wasn't feeling it, and I said, 3 days in the house without leaving. I mean, I've left a couple times, but just being in the house all day in the house. No, if I'm feeling being in the house, I'm going to be in the house, period. And one of the things I want to say that you mentioned, and I really, because of this parent child, is this obligation to the child. And I say child, adult, obligation to the adult child, obligation to the mother, obligation to the father. This obligation, this is my perspective. If I feel any obligation for an adult, that has nothing to do with love. That's a program. And for most, when you, as soon as you popped out, Nathan, I did not want you to feel any kind of obligation towards me. I saw it too much.
Yeah, this is a really good topic. I mean, this will, I think, forever be a topic with parent, child, mother, son, father, whatever, and this obligation, expectation. And I've heard that from you for as long as I can remember. And then it's still my journey. So much. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, yes, go ahead.
I know we needed something a little frivolous here. I caught you today a little later, but
Yeah.
I was looking away and then I looked back and you were gone. This
Yes.
is really funny, sort of.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, anyway, just to wrap it up. Yeah, I still had to get that on my own. Even with you saying no obligation, I still had to feel that. And oh, this is my, because I was thinking about commitment this week and my quote unquote fear of commitment, my resistance towards commitment, and what is even going on with me. And for me, one of the things is knowing I can change my mind. Commitment feels like, oh, I'm trapped. I'm going to be doing this job forever. I'm going to be with working with this person forever. What I'm going to be on this career path forever, and it's just not true. I just have to be willing to follow my intuition and my gut or whatever it is and go with the flow.
In the moment.
And yeah, in the moment, and be willing to have someone else not like it or agree with it or not get it or be hurt by that, and even myself to not get it. But I'd rather do that than be stuck in obligation to anything I said or did. And I do want to commit, and I do want to also try out committing until the commitment is over.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
This is really a good topic. So now we're even getting into future,
That's
into
right.
future stuff, and too much story for me. Too much story. I already know it's all ego authored. If it's too much explanations, too much story. I'm feeling it right now. I'm not feeling it right now. Next moment, I'm feeling this. I don't know what I'm going to be feeling next week. I'm not even interested in what or how I'm feeling next week. It is about in the moment, but yeah, the obligation, and that obligation, it just feels heavy, and it doesn't feel like love or acceptance.
Well, because we're not under any obligation to the universe, and the universe doesn't love, quote unquote, love us any more or less, really based on anything we do.
And the other thing you said, hold on, you're talking about obligation, feeling obligation. I don't remember. I don't remember. But this is just jumping way off topic. I was watching, I like to watch some game shows, not all game shows. Anything that's light, funny and light, that's me. I'm there. And I was watching, not America Says with our favorite Michael J. Higgins. It was Michael J. Higgins with the new show, Split Second.
Oh, that's right.
Split Second. And so this gentleman was on, he had a big fro, and he said, I'm a professional dancer. Professional dancer.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, and we're all looking and okay. And he says, and I'm also a professional clown. Dancer and a professional clown. So just going back to your statement earlier, why don't you just give it up and be a professional clown? I'm looking into it right now. I'm looking into the certifications. I'm looking into the gradations. I'm
The
looking into what
curriculum,
the
the credits,
curriculum,
the
the
courses.
clown school, the clown clothes, the clown life. I'm down with it.
That's the best news I've heard all day. I support you 100%. I co-sign on this, and now I'm just thinking, clown. I mean, listen, it's 2024. We're in the modern day era. Clown is no longer white face with a red nose and big shoes and a big tummy. And a clown is
Me.
yes, and whatever you want it to be or not want it to be. And I was almost gonna say actress, and the word clown came out of my mouth first, but it's yeah.
It's performance.
Yes, that's right.
It's a performance, and a performance. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to laugh. I'm here to uplift, and I'm also here to share what I've learned. If I'm calling myself a happiness specialist, yeah, this thing called happiness is a serious problem, and it's a serious. That's actually the title of the book.
Oh, that's
Uh,
a good one.
Dennis Prager, happiness is a serious problem.
Oh.
That's years ago, Nathan, in the 70s before you were even born.
Oh, I didn't know
Mm,
that.
mm, 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 mm,
Still
mm.
a good title. It's catchy and it's yeah, it's clever.
But it's not as clever as Programmed for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth.
No, not as clever as that.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Not
And I wanted to I'm going to jump to I wanted to give you credit, and we were making fun of you talking for 5 minutes straight 2 weeks ago.
3 minutes straight,
I know exaggerated, and you caught it.
always.
So I am my mother's son in some ways. So yes, you talked for only three long minutes straight, and I was with my lips together and my head nodding or not nodding, and probably doing what you're doing. I mean, I didn't cover my ears, but I was trying to not hear.
How can
Anyways,
you not hear when your ears are right there?
good point. I actually was
Is
trying to
there an
throw
answer?
I was trying to throw you a bone. The answer is I can't not hear it.
Okay.
So but I wanted to give you credit because, at times where you either duck down out of the frame or you walk away or you're looking for something, it's hard to keep this ball up in the air. And you really do have experience talking and sharing and talking by yourself and talking with other people and doing speeches and shows and interviews, which is a real skill and a skill that I want to keep developing too. And I want to bring back, I always remember this, but you played me a recording of you in some kind of session or a coaching session from, I think, definitely maybe before I was born. And the way you were talking was different than the way you talk now. Meaning it was just less and quieter and not as I just hear. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know exactly
Okay.
what you're talking about. There was a tape, and I was from the 80s, and it was way before you were born. But all this is, Nathan, is the same thing as when I talk about happiness. It's just a practice. Even with your artistic ability, it's a practice. Your first drawings, who knows what? Oh, I do have your first drawings. I have them somewhere in the garage. But it's just practice. I just remember years and years and years ago, over 15 years ago. "Oh, I can't. I have to talk for 5 minutes. Oh, it's only been 30 seconds. Now what? I can't even. Now, yeah, I can talk for an hour. And in fact, thank you for bringing this up today. Later on at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Pacific time, 5 p.m. For the next 4 Saturdays, I'm going to be interviewed live on YouTube with my editor, Nikki Hernandez from Generation Copy. Anyway, so she's going to be interviewing me 5 Saturdays in a row, live on YouTube, 5 p.m. Pacific time for September. I'm just saying the more you do it, the easier it gets. And that's not even a thought. I could just start talking without any notes.
Absolutely. And then okay, so wait, your show is Nikki Hernandez. That's how I
No,
find it. Oh,
no, it's going to be on my YouTube channel.
oh, your YouTube
My
channel.
YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington, and but we're streaming it live on YouTube to every Saturday at 5 Pacific time for the rest of this month,
Okay. All right.
live on YouTube. And we're only going to be talking about the book.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
because she's
cool.
my editor, so she's promoting the book and talking about, and she's a big fan of this book.
That's really, really good.
Hmm.
Well, then she'll be a perfect person to ask questions about it that knows it. And well, that'll be great. Okay, so that's on your YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington.
Yes, it's on my YouTube channel,
Okay.
just like this one. So it's the same place. Just come to the same place later today.
Okay. Got it. 5 p.m. Pacific. Well, it's exciting.
And by the way, if you are on live on Noom Vibe, you can ask to join the stage. Nobody has joined yet, but feel free. And if you're watching on YouTube, questions, comments, we are open to answering any questions, any comments.
Yes, feel free to hop on and you have 2 minutes to do it.
That's right. 30 seconds if you ask me, because he's nicer than me. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, it's not for you. It's not for them. It's for you.
What?
We're You heard me. No, we're just about to wrap the show up. That's all.
Oh, yes. This is oh, you don't need to know what you want. Answer. How do you know? Oh, how about, okay, this is a question, Nathan. How do you know you don't need what you want?
Oh
How do
boy.
you know you don't need what you want?
Wow, what a good question. Oof. That my ego doesn't even want to answer that.
Yes, of course. And so here we go. I'm going to answer it, say one more time because it is a good question. How do you know you don't need what you want?
Oh, well, I do have an answer now.
Okay, what is it?
Is you don't have it.
You know what? There's just one word for you. And
Amazing.
it's
No.
no. Well, okay, two words. Amazing. Genius. He's a genius. Look at this. I've got the notes right here. This is the
You don't
question.
have it.
Yes, the
Yeah.
answer.
Oh, it feels so good to get an answer right. Wow, I
It
feel like I'm in school again.
Yeah, you don't have it. How do you know you don't need what you want? Because you don't have it. And let me throw this out. My ego only has one objective, one perspective, one way of doing everything, one way of looking at something, one perspective about it, one one judgment. It doesn't have the ability to open up and see a bigger picture, more possibilities, more perspectives. So I know when my ego's attacking is when I'm limited. I can only see this,
Right. Right.
but I want to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But the ego, I'm only going to see this. And the ego is always right.
It's all about rights and wrongs. Well, speaking of talking, we just talked our way to the end of the show. I can't even believe it. That was such a zippy one. That was
Not
really
yet,
fun.
not yet, because I want to ask you. Yeah, don't get the song out yet. I would like to ask you, sir, how do you like your dimmers?
I love the dimmers. Well, the best dimmer is the dimmer in the bathroom. That's really where it comes in handy the most because I'm not going to turn on that light in the middle of the night, but I like having some light. And I love that they go on their own. So it's good for the cats because I like having some light on if I'm not at home at night. And it's even for an hour or 2 hours, I do like having lights on and it keeps them awake. Anyway, so well, I don't even know if it keeps them awake, probably doesn't. But it's good for the cats and then I don't have to turn lights on when it's light out. I can just set the dimmers and they go on and I'm not wasting electricity.
Oh, here we go. Wasting electricity, wasting time. Wasting time is going to be next week's topic because it's impossible. Time is an illusion, by the way. And the only reason why I'm asking about the dimmers is I have these great dimmers in my house. And one day when he called me, it was out of the blue moon. Maybe once every 3 months he calls, and I FaceTime and he's look at these dimmers. And so I was showing him the dimmers in the house, and after I showed him the second dimmer, he says, "Mom, I don't have to see every location of your dimmers.
Oh, that's right. That was so good. Yeah, she's walking me around the house like we really have nothing better to do, showing me where she has lights. I mean, I almost would rather watch paint dry.
Well, you said almost. So
That's right. It's a little more interesting than that.
I'll keep showing you the dimmers. The good thing about the dimmers, yes, they do go on and off. They're on Amazon, by the way. They're great. In fact, they probably should just show everybody a dimmer. Stay right
Yes,
there.
well,
Don't go.
this episode is sponsored by those dimmers.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to get some sponsors. And we'll just sponsor it ourselves.
These are the best dimmers. See how cool they are?
They're cool, they're cute. And then what do you do? Do you have them on low, or do you change them?
Everyone is different in every room. But
Oh,
you can go up or down, brighter light, lower light. And then they, like you said, they come on when it gets dark. I have this on a low dim. And they're
love it.
beautiful.
And they're beautiful, and they go with many different aesthetics and
Yes, and
design.
they're on Amazon. You can just go, yeah, Amazon, perfect dimmers, 19.99 for two dimmers.
I still have one left. There's one lucky spot left for one. I have three up now, so keep you posted on where the fourth one goes.
Oh, please do.
And with that being said,
Oh, please, with that being said, you're a Toastmaster, no fillers.
I know. Well, I've been working on it. I was Toastmaster and then I lost it. I'm bringing it back.
Oh, thank goodness, because answering the
Hey,
questions
yo,
with a
it's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus some more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now let's listen.
till next week.